When it comes to video games with a plot or main narrative, it's vital to nail the ending. Some leave it ambiguous, like the beautiful and mysterious Everybody's Gone to the Rapture or dark side scroller. What was the name of the other Limbo game?
Inside.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Some want it definitively heart-wrenching, like The Last of Us or The Walking Dead Season 1, and some went out to lunch halfway through writing their script and had their interns finish it. Let's take a look at some of these now, shall we?
Yeah,
you can go now, Peter. I'm Ben from What Culture, and here are 10 video game endings that were profoundly insulting. No, really, just get out.
Oh.
No, go on, go.
I'm only trying to
No,
help.
get away from me, go.
Okay.
Get out.
Jesus
I'm doing a
Christ.
video. Number 10, No Man's Sky. They lied to us, blah 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 blah, Sean Murray, Hello Games, blah 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 blah. Look, we all know that No Man's Sky was an absolute dog's breakfast and not at all representative of what was promised in early promotional footage or interviews. But we're here to discuss its story. That's right, it had a story, apparently, namely progressing to the center of an unending universe. But how can you define the center of something that's infinite? Shut up, yells Sean Murray as he slaps you across the face. Reach the end of this largely metaphorical narrative thread and the galaxy map zooms out, putting you back where you started and inviting you to do it all again. No thanks. Number 9, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. The well-meaning sequel to Human Revolution, Mankind Divided saw grunty sunglass cybernetic man Adam Jensen once again espionage his way around the goldest and blackest dystopian future ever conceived of. Except this time around, the missions were all wink-wonk. The pacing of the story never truly increased from anything other than a saunter until a proper engaging mission finally happens, and it turns out it's the last one. It had you make a rushed decision regarding a villain who'd only spent about 5 minutes on screen, and it turns out this was expanded upon in paid DLC that was almost certainly insidiously cut from the full release. He never asked for this. That's a Deus Ex catchphrase. Number 8, ASURA'S Wrath. That's not as bad as ASURA'S Wrath, though, where instead of shaving off exposition, they legitimately hid the final chapters behind a paywall. Capcom even had the stones to advertise it as the true ending, and for $7 you could access episode 19 to 22. If it wasn't for this blatant disregard for their punters' wallets, this new franchise might still be around now. But no, they were greedy, wanted more money, and they killed it. They killed their baby. Capcom kills babies. Science. Number 7, Far Cry 3. Do you remember how Vaz was a brilliant baddie? Unhinged in every possible respect, he haunted us in the game's pre-release material and then only the first part of the game, when he was killed off about halfway through. This left us with a rather bizarre ending where you could either kill your girlfriend and chums who you'd spent the entire game trying to save and do a sex with tribal leader Citra who then kills you, or just leave with your friends, which is what you were trying to do from the start. It was weird. Where was Vaz? Dead. The rest of the game was excellent too, which makes it even more of a shame that the end was so very wonky with a peculiar tacked-on emotional choice. Number 6, Prince of Persia. Before Ubisoft would run Assassin's Creed into the ground, they were giving Prince of Persia a good old go of it. As such, the 2008 installment was intended to be a fresh start, changing the dynamic of gameplay and making the whole story about our hero and the princess falling in love. Together, you saved the world by looking after some magic trees, but then that kills the princess, which is a bit of a bummer. But hold on, says the game's villain, I'll let you have your lady friend back if you chop down all the trees you saved. Nah, f*** off, thinks the player. Took me 15 hours, that. Then he does it. He actually undoes all of your progress to save the princess. I bet she was furious. I was. Number 5, Mad Max. Avalanche Studios' 2015 Mad Max effort was far better than it had any right to be, with a large, open map, an upgradable vehicle, side quests, and a suitably nefarious antagonist to dethrone. So after potentially playing the game for dozens of hours, upgrading your car for dozens of hours, Max uses it as a makeshift missile to knock the bad guy's vehicle off a cliff while dutiful helper character Chumbucket clings to the front. So you've lost your car, you've lost your well-meaning friend, then it turns out that Scrotus didn't even die, so you gotta fight him anyway, without your car or your friend. That's how you deflate enjoyment right there. Number 4, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Where the first Force Unleashed was a gloriously over-the-top extravaganza of fanboy wish fulfillment, the sequel felt like a rushed attempt to milk the fans by putting the barest of effort into continuing the tale of the mighty Starkiller. To that end, its campaign was a shockingly short 5 hours, ending with a light ending and a dark ending that you just choose between. The light ending sees you disappear off into space pursued by Boba Fett, and in the dark ending, you're killed by a Starkiller clone, meaning that all your efforts were for nothing. Hooray! Despite the outrage from fans, LucasArts still released some paid DLC to expand on how this clone came to be. Sadly, even that ended on a cliffhanger as the clone Starkiller prepared to do battle with the Emperor's forces, and you don't know what happened next, and nothing means anything. What's the point? Good stuff. Number 3. Halo 2. One of the most prolific misfires in the history of gaming now, as Halo 2 ended with Master Chief saying, "Finishing this fight, sir," when asked what he was doing, before a cut to black. Naff. It would later be revealed that Bungie's time developing Halo 2 was fraught with mishaps and shorter deadlines, with the team eventually having to crowbar in a cliffhanger ending that amounted to, "Come back for the third one, we should have it all nailed down by then. Promise." Even so, as an ending, it was almost a parody of the genre it was trying so hard to have taken seriously. Wait, you mean that was it? That was actually, Number 2, Metal Gear Solid 5. The Phantom Pain. Here we go, boys. I've mentioned this in a previous list, but I'm firmly in the camp of feeling like Kojima pulled a fast one and kicked me square in the groin with the story of MGS5. Konami's weird working conditions, strained relations, lack of effort on Mr. Kojima's part, whatever you want to blame it on, the revelation that you spent the whole game playing as a medic who had plastic surgery to look like Big Boss and was given his memories and fighting style while unconscious, and look, it's all just really stupid. It doesn't make sense. There was loads of stuff in the tapes, apparently. That's great, but I don't want to sit there and listen to a load of tapes. Some people may love it, but I thought it was bloody cheap and made my 40-hour save feel like a complete waste of time. Plus, you don't even get that ending unless you jump through some obscure hoops, including replaying earlier missions with modifiers. And then it turned out a whole load of extra stuff was cut out and was on a special edition disc with no animation. It's mad. Absolutely stupid. So stupid. Number 1. Mass Effect 3. Of course it is. BioWare lovingly crafted an insanely detailed sci-fi universe where choice was everything and sex was a consequence of choice. But you also made larger decisions. How to tackle situations came down to diplomacy or violence. You had the power to make change that would affect species, worlds, governments, and then they ended the trilogy by giving you an A, B, or C ending where none of your previous decisions were taken into account. In fact, if you play the scenarios out side by side, there isn't even much difference between the final cutscenes at all. The colors differ, maybe, or the featured characters switch, but that was it. They got death threats as a result. Now, nothing related to video game development should ever make death threats okay. It's a video game, but BioWare did eventually bow to the weight of public opinion and released a free extended cut ending. Although it didn't help matters that EA kept a character and key missions under lock and key to be sold on later. I really hope Mass Effect Andromeda is good. And that's our list. I suppose you could say all these had shit endings for whackers. Hashtag shit endings for whackers. That's right, you aren't getting away without a hashtag. Are there any other awful game endings we missed off? I bet there are. Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can even follow me here on Twitter if you fancy. I'm Ben from What Culture, and thanks for watching.